Police in Pakistan have arrested a 22-year-old man that they say has confessed to the murder of a teenage social media influencer, Ms Yousaf. Authorities say that they believe that Umar Hayat murdered Sana at her home in Islamabad on Monday after having his offers of friendship rejected. Well, my colleague Azadeh Mashiri is across this story from Islamabad. And Azadeh, just bring us up to date on this very difficult case.
Well, Ms Yousaf was very well known here in Pakistan. At 17 years old, she had hundreds of followers on Instagram and TikTok. In fact, she was reaching nearly 1 million on TikTok. Now, what police have said is they believe that Umar Hayat had repeatedly tried to meet her and had those attempts rejected by Sana. They say he then allegedly broke into her home in Islamabad on Monday, shot her twice, snatched her phone, and then fled the scene. We spoke to her father today, who was at her burial in Chitral, and he said that she had died at the scene, and therefore it was too late to take her to the hospital. And he described Sana as very brave. He said she'd never described any threatening behavior prior to this taking place, that he'd never even heard of Umar Hayat, and that instead, he said, his daughter was focused on eventually becoming a doctor one day. Now, what police have said is that there has been immense pressure, as they put it, for them to find the person who was responsible for Sana's death, because of the fact not only that she was well known, but as they put it, this was a brutal killing of a teenage girl.
And given, as you say, Azadeh, that she was so well known, there's been a lot of reaction online.
There has been. Her followers online have continued to grow, and there have been floods and outpourings of condolences on her accounts. But as much as there has been outrage at the fact that a young woman, a young girl, was killed in her own home here in the capital city of Islamabad, there has also been some backlash to her work as an influencer. Pakistan is a conservative society, and one of the digital monitors that I spoke to, an expert at one of the NGOs, said that a lot of this toxic discourse, as he put it, was coming from a small group of mostly male online users, and that a lot of this is, in his words, misogynistic, patriarchal content, trying to blame a victim here for her own murder. I also spoke to a human rights expert and a very prominent activist here in Pakistan who told me that she believed that this was just another case of a woman being extremely visible online, of having her own voice, and not only that, being a young girl, and that therefore this triggered this sort of backlash that isn't uncommon here in Pakistan. But what she saw as a very positive step was the fact that authorities and the police have very clearly condemned this killing. And in fact, the head of the police force here in Islamabad said that they want to get the message out very clearly that that girls and women who pursue any careers or hobbies as social media influencers should have the right to do so. People here believe that that's a big step in the right direction, but of course, at the end of the day, this was a tragic killing that the country is still reacting to.
Yeah, very, very difficult situation. Azadeh, as always, thank you very much for covering this difficult case. Azadeh Mashiri, my colleague there, joining us live from Islamabad.